In this video, you will see a Greek tourist guide, Aristotle Koskinas, from Athens. Aristotle has been guiding tourists for many years. He will be taking a group of senior tourists on a tour of Plaka, an area of ancient monuments and old buildings, below the Acropolis of Athens. When a group books a tour, he asks his clients about any access issues they may have, so he can adapt the tour to their needs and abilities. This group speaks English. Some cannot walk long distances without a rest, and cannot manage many and high steps. Aristotle also uses pictures to explain the historical sites to the group, to help them understand more easily.
Because that's also have to be also aware of the traffic, because the places that we're going to walk through, they're not pedestrian only, unfortunately. Anyway, so good morning. Actually, it's good afternoon. Welcome to Athens. My name is Aristotle. I will be your guide for today in this walk in the district of Plaka, which is the oldest neighborhood of the city. Before we start, I would like to ask some questions that will help me to design the routes and our itinerary. First of all, because we're going to walk in areas that we have to walk up steps. Are you okay with that? Do you have any issues? Mobility issues? Is it difficult?
Should be
Walk up and steps?
Yeah,
Yes, no?
we shall try our best.
We'll try our best. Okay, so we'll play it by ear also. Can you hear me? Well,
Yes.
Okay. While my voice can project that, if there are places where it's noisy because of the traffic or because of other people, just let me know. And I don't know if we'll be able to enter any of the churches. I'm afraid that now most of them should be closed, but I'd like to know if you have any issues of seeing in dark areas.
Okay.
No? No? Okay. And unfortunately, there are very few places where we can sit down. But in case you will get tired, just let me know so I can adjust the pacing accordingly.
Thank
now,
you. Yeah.
Thank you. Now, this area also, actually, let's move a little to the, follow me, we'll get there where you can see some of the pictures of the, if I am moving fast, don't rush up to catch up with me, I'm just trying to find the spot where we can stand. So, now we're actually, you see some, for those of you who visit Athens for the first time, here you get an idea of what lies beneath modern Athens. Actually, Athens is a history of 6,000 years with several layers of history, several historical horizons. Actually, in this area where now we can see at least three of these historical horizons. The columns and the base of the columns that you can see down date to the Roman period. So that was the level of the ground during the Roman and probably even during the classical period, 2,500 years ago. Then a little further up, you can see there is, to the left, there is a wall. That wall dates to the 5th century AD, so it's late Roman. And if you look to the right, you can see the small garden. That's the level of the ground of the 11th century AD when the church was built. And where we're standing now and where all these buildings you can see around you are located, this is the level of the 19th and the 20th century. Until 1911, those two columns were jutting above the ground. And I think I have a rendition. Actually, there are even photographs of this monument. People, of course, didn't have a clue of what was its significance. You see, it has also the fine detail of the woman feeding the chickens, just a small image of everyday life in Athens. In 1911, an excavation was conducted, and they exposed the columns. And also under where we're standing now, they also found a gate leading into the building. So what we see are personally, for many reasons, I prefer to go down to the level of the ancient street. Can you manage the steps?
Oh, yes.
Huh? Oh, well, so there's a handrail. It's good to use the handrail. really high. And there was a street starting from the Theatre of Dionysus, which is a few hundred meters from where we're now, doing a loop around the Acropolis and ending up in the area of the ancient Agora. And that street was called the Street of the Tripods. Now actually we're standing on that street. This is the level of the late 4th century BC. You can see behind me, straight ahead, you'll notice that the modern street follows more or less exactly the same trace, and we may walk on that street later. Actually, we have found monuments and foundations of monuments in the properties lining this street.
Said that in this area during the 60s, my grandfather used to take me here because it was a shadow theater, which is traditional. And now they have disappeared, this kind of theater.
Right.
They are not spontaneous, they are artificial now, but I have the remembrance of this authentic Greek theater.
Lovely.
Ναι.
Ah, yeah.
So now we're going to the area of Anafiotica. It's uphill. Some places a little steep, and also we cannot avoid walking up and down steps. So if you think that you cannot manage, let me know, and we will adjust the itinerary accordingly.
Okay, thank you. Yes.
We're not in a race. So here are a couple of steps.
Ah. Okay. Tricky. Okay. Take care.
Just all houses have been refurbished by those property managing companies, which means that now the Plaka is going back to the color. So I'm certain that's a house or an Airbnb. So what happened in the 1840s? The people from the island of Anafi, poor people, workers, builders, carpenters, came to this location, which was uninhabited. The Greek government had designated this area as a location for excavations. Within the night, so but we can walk further into have to have a look at the.
For the Acropolis, you go that way.
Oh.
For
Yes,
the
you-
entrance.
Yes, you can. There are
For the
signs
tickets.
pointing to the Acropolis, but have in mind that it's steep.
Otherwise,
Otherwise, you have to
go that way.
down and
Yeah.
you'll find the entrance, the southern entrance.
Ah, okay.
It's
easier.
It's easier to walk that way.